Welcome back to the Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast, a show all about inspiring smart, busy women to put their happiness at the top of their to-do list. Join your host and life coach, Dion Thompson, as she chats with amazing women who have figured out how to make their happiness a priority, and more importantly, what it's really like to go from hot mess to awesomeness. And now, on with the show.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast. I am your host and life coach, Dion Thompson. Oh. If this is your first episode of the podcast, then I need you to know that my guest, Kristen Dupuis, and I just danced our asses off.
We did.
Oh, it was so good. So today is kind of a big day energetically, and we're going to talk about energy in just a minute. But of course, this is the day that the new president and vice president are sworn in. And so, and we're feeling that here. So we are in Canada, and of course, we are always feeling the energy from the South. And today is a big day, and a dance party was necessary.
I agree.
So I'm super grateful. Yeah. And you picked some kick-ass songs.
Thank
that
you.
first one, bang. Okay, if you haven't heard that, I'm gonna share it, and I say this a lot, but I've noticed that a lot of my guests bring songs. Many of them I know. I'm like, woo, who love that tune? And some I'm like, damn, girl, that is good. And so I'm actually thinking of like going through the entire Hot Mess to Awesomeness dance party playlist, which of course there is one, and going through and going, these are the winners, the ones that I was like, what? Either the tune or the lyrics, but for this song, it was both, and I just freaking loved it. So thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome. I hear it on the radio, and I'm just like, shut up, everyone. Turn this up. Nobody
My jam. Oh, we are so cool. So thank you. Thank you, Kristen, for joining me today on the podcast. I am super excited to have you here. So Kristen and we met, oh my goodness, it feels like I've known you for a really long time, but I'm pretty sure
I know it has.
A year and a half, maybe 2 years. Of course, 2020 is a blur, so there's that.
Yeah,
but it was prior. So we did meet prior through a mutual friend, and it was awesome. And then of course finding out that I went to grade school with your husband, and because that's in a small town. And I'm just, since that first day, that first coffee date, I have been in love with you.
Oh my God.
All of the pieces that you bring to the world and all the gifts that you share. The thing that I think I am most like Twitter pated about is you're like, and fuck everybody else, because this is what matters to me. And I remember you talking about that shift where you're like, hard no, and oh yeah, and then just embracing all of the pieces of you, and continuously. I mean, I can't turn on Facebook without seeing another certification that you've decided to embark on. And I'm just like, this is my girl, because I am always about getting really excited about new learning and fascinations and cool things. So I'm looking forward to you giving us the list of all of the cool things that you do. And for me, you know, I've been fortunate enough, because again, you live in my town, that I get to go and see you. And you've had some really great sessions with Reiki and hypnotherapy. And I'm just like, please, it's awesome. And then there's the oils and the crystals and you know, if you've been in my community long enough, you know that I'm all about the woo-woo, but I'm really all about the science, which is another reason why I love you, because you see that where those two pieces to come together and find your place in the middle, right? And that's where I think there's a lot of magic there. So oh, so good. So because I don't think I know every single thing, please tell us all of the facets that makes you you.
Ooh, wow. Okay, how long do we have? Just kidding. As Dion said, I'm Kristen Dupuis. I'm the owner and operator of Kristen Dupuis. And I just recently sort of like twinged my name a little bit, because I wanted it to be more all encompassing, kind of like I am. So I've changed it to Kristen Dupuis Center for Spiritual Wellness and Self-Discovery. So the reason I wanted center, because I want it to feel like you can come here, for lack of a better term, like a one-stop spiritual shop. Like, I got everything for you, for your healing journey. So, okay, what do I have? So I'm a certified hypnosis practitioner, which, like, I'm head over heels in love with doing hypnosis, meditation. I'm also a Reiki master, which I think I'm probably going to say they're all my favorite, because they really all are my favorite. I am a certified life coach as well, although I tend to do more on the spiritual counseling side. I have a bachelor's of metaphysics, so there's kind of like that science meets the woo-woo. And I'm working my way through my master's, among other things I'm doing. And right now I'm actually doing something that I've probably wanted to do for my entire life, and that's become a certified yoga teacher. So I'm so excited about that. Shout out to Happy Jack Yoga. They're amazing company that kind of does a university feel, so I can get trained in lots of other things as well as yoga, which is my jam. Like, right. I'm sorry, I can learn multiple things here. Yes, sign me up, please. Thank you. So I'm learning tons about like Ayurveda and how to boost your immune naturally. So just all the things that like just set my heart on fire, I can learn through this university. So I'm super, super excited. I'm a student of life, a lifelong learner forever and ever. So yeah, I'm sure I'll probably get trained in other things too, but I think that's it.
Well, and you also have a extensive knowledge of crystals and their use and in therapy, which I love. And of course, your husband, who builds these beautiful spaces for you to house all of these things, which I also love.
I'm so lucky.
And you're also an oil expert. So and I'm sure there is more. Oh, and you are a wedding officiant.
I am an ordained minister. Yes, I am. Yes. So
let's not forget.
Denominational ordained minister. I just received that certification. Oh, let's see. I think it was August, something around that time. So I'm all official and documented up, and I
can appreciate that particular avenue of your business may be a little light at the moment, as
so it's we're not having large weddings right now, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. But that being said, you can still have 10 people indoors and outdoors that have a wedding, and there's things like this Zoom and stuff. I know it's not ideal for everybody, but some people like those really special, intimate. I eloped with my husband, so we're very much about that intimate moment, that private little ceremony. So that's available to people still. So it's exciting. I know it's not the year for big outlandish things, but kind of a year for intimacy, I think.
Absolutely. I love that. The intimacy and grounding, which of course you are an expert and proponent of. So let's dive in, because I know that your story is inspiring and powerful. And as those of us who get to be observers and to learn from you, I'm excited for you to share about your hot mess to awesomeness experience. So, we were talking right before I hit record about, that moment, right? So there's this moment for many of us who feel like we're on this journey where if we looked at the timeline of our lives, we'd go, that is the pinnacle moment, and my life is defined by everything before and everything after. So Kristen, tell us about that.
Okay. So my journey. Okay. Saddle up, everybody. So like you said, that pinpoint moment, I remember it like it was yesterday, but also seems like it was forever ago. But I know a lot of people can relate. So I got a divorce in 2016, I believe it was. My son was just 5. just turned 5. It was kind of like your rock bottom. Like I was rock bottom. I was, as you would say, an absolute hot freaking mess. Like, I don't think I've ever been so dark in my life. And I'm a naturally upbeat, positive person. So for me to be in that dark space was both terrifying for myself, but also my son fed on that, right? And he was in a dark place. So we had that shared trauma together. And I know this isn't about placing blame on relationships. It came to an end. It was what it was. And honestly, I was in that dark place for many months. Self-pity, wallowing, it just doom and gloom. That was my name. That was my game. And I just remember one day waking up and saying, I don't want to feel like shit anymore. I'm done. I'm modeling this behavior for my son who's struggling. So I just, like, it made me feel so guilty. Like I was just supposed to be his rock and I was just falling apart. So I just got to this moment where I'm like, you know what? Life is too short. I'm reborn. I have this new opportunity in my life to live life the way that I want to live. So it really changed my perspective. And did I have days that kind of sucked and I was sad? Sure. But I held on to that faith. And I would say that I probably didn't have much of a spiritual side previous to that, more so because I felt it was super taboo. I hid it from everybody. I would like secretly read books about like spirits and angels and crystals. And like, I really got into oils and things like that. So I'm like, what? I don't do that. Like, I don't have oils. What are you talking about? Like,
but
I'm totally normal.
I'm just going to pause you for 2 seconds because I wanted to say the first woo-woo conference I went to, and it wasn't even woo-woo, okay? It was a conference of like coaches talking about mindset. It wasn't really, but I didn't tell anybody. I was what are you doing this weekend? Nothing. I got nothing going on.
What are you doing? And what are you questioning me?
there was a woman I know there, and I didn't tell her I was going, and I kind of hid from her for the first half of the conference. I'm like, no, I'm not here because this isn't.
Like, what?
Yeah. So I feel you on that. Like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I was totally like a closet spiritual crazy person. So once this divorce happened, and I was kind of like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to be me. So watch out, world, here I come. I shed all the masks I wore. I shed all the expectations that I put on myself that were just bullshit. They were bullshit. They didn't mean anything. They were just keeping me suppressed and playing small. And I thought to myself, my son's looking at me and he sees me either as this wounded, broken mother that is divorced and by herself, or this strong, badass woman who can take care of herself, take care of her kid, and just be like an amazing person living her best life. And I just thought to myself, this is my moment. This is my time. And I'm going to show the world who I am. And by doing that, I really learned a lot about who I am. And even to this day, 2021, I'm still learning about who I am and who I want to be and who I aspire to be every single day. It's not something that just stops. It's something you should just be doing for the rest of your life, just thriving and being who you want to be. And I'm a huge advocate for reinventing yourself. You know what? That doesn't work. It doesn't mean you're stuck in that place. Like, go be something different then. So I push that onto my kids a lot. Like, okay, that didn't work out. Dust it off, get back up again. Like, we can do this. I wanted to be that person that modeled that. So I decided, okay, yeah, I did my Reiki training. I became a Reiki master. I went to drumming circles. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a drummer now, a spiritual drummer, no big deal. I went to spiritual like weekends and retreats, and I was just like letting my freak fly, basically. And, and I got to a point where I thought, I'm super powerful and dangerous because I will not let anybody or anything come in the way of being who I am. So anybody that comes into my life, whether it be romantic or other, this is just who I am unapologetically. So I'm a little light love, go fuck yourself. If you don't follow what I'm throwing down, that's cool. But I'm gonna just have to ask you to move out of my way kind of thing. So we just had this like renowned, like, oh my gosh, I'm free. I can be who I am. And that kind of leads me to when I first met my husband, Greg. I was a neighbor with his sister-in-law who was married to his brother. That makes sense. Yep. And we were neighbors and we kept in touch. We worked in the same building, and she called me one day, and I can tell you that pivotal moment, I was wearing a red sweatshirt, drinking red wine, eating Haagen-Dazs coffee, ice cream, and watching Netflix, and not in a sad person way, like in a, this is the best day of my life. I'm living my best life, eating ice cream, my son with his dad for the weekend. I was like letting loose. And she's like, you have to come and hang out with me. And I had that moment where I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty happy right now. And then I thought, no, you know what? This is obviously an opportunity to go out, socialize. I'm going to just, something in me just said, go, have fun, like let loose a little. And I went and I ended up meeting my husband, Greg. And we, like, this is just, you really can't write this cliche love movie, love at first sight. We were like, I just looked at him. I said something, we both laughed, turned, smiled at each other. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to marry him because we're in love. After an hour of meeting, I just had this feeling, this knowing. And I attribute a lot of it to setting up, what do you call it? Like terms. I was like, this person who is going to come into my life, like it's non-negotiable. He has to be accepting of me. He has to, you know, I had all these non-negotiables, and I thought whoever comes into my life, and it doesn't have to be he has to be tall, dark, and handsome bullshit. This is like really soul deep stuff. And when I opened myself up to that and opened myself up to that world, like he just kind of like fell into my lap, and it was just amazing. And the reason I bring that up is there is a reason, but I was working a 9-to-5 job, corporate, and this was always my passion, to serve the world in a way that felt good to me, and that I felt like I was making a difference and doing something that made me happy and gave me passion and fire and like all that amazing feeling. And I was terrified. I made a lot of money. I was really comfortable. I was stable. And something I lacked in relationships before was somebody that was backing me up. So somebody who was cheerleading for me and saying like, you can do this. This is your passion. Go for it. This is your leap of faith. Jump. And I was really missing that from other relationships. And I knew it was within me, but to have that support from somebody is like no other. So he really was a big driving force, you know, like my passion was there, but he was the one that said like, it's your time, jump, quit your job. Like I'm 100% here to catch you if you fall. And I really just needed to hear that so that I could just be like, fuck it. Here I go. I'm jumping. I quit. I jumped head first into it, and I've never looked back. So that was kind of like my journey to get where I am now.
Right.
So
and then from there, the awesomeness just continues to envelop you and unfold, right? And that's what and it's such a crucial point. Awesomeness is not a place. You don't land there, right? It isn't just is. It is a state. It is a being, right? It is this understanding and awareness and trust and faith that no matter what the hot mess moments are, that you're always awesome in the process, which is such a powerful transformational moment, right? To get to that place where I'm like, or where you're like, or where anybody is like, okay, the shit is not who I am. It's what I'm dealing with. Yeah. And I think for so many of us, for generations, we have been conditioned to believe that what we produce and how well we produce things determines our worth and our value. And so as a result, we're always looking to offer up, produce, and do for others so that we can tick those boxes.
Yep.
Missing out on the truth that we are inherently amazing.
Yeah.
Just are. And
that is such a good, like, I love that. I tell that to my kids. Your natural state when you are born is joy. Be there, live there. This is your place. Be in this place. It won't be every moment, because then we wouldn't appreciate the joy, but fuck, be there. Like, be there most of the time.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, you need to journey on and find that place.
Right, with the trust and the knowing that it exists. Right.
Yes.
Because again, the stuckness often involves that this is my reality now. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm the one who insert crappy words here. And ultimately it's no, I am here in this moment that sucks. And I am the one who can move on to the next space. And there, and I talk a lot about uncovering what makes people happy. And I recognize that happiness definition is like a moment. Right. So this cup of coffee makes me happy. Oh, I'm so excited. Delicious.
Yeah.
And,
makes me happy too.
Right. But my joy state comes from my connection to the why it makes me happy, everything about this moment, and how to recreate the state when I'm not drinking the coffee. Like, how do you do that? And that's what I think I've observed in your story. And when you shared it, now I've heard it, in a couple of ways, a couple of different times and through different opportunities, and you said it, and thank you, Glennon Doyle, for making it super popular, the knowing.
Yeah.
And it's just this physical, spiritual, emotional, and logical knowledge of yes. However, there were moments in your life where you hadn't developed the path to your knowing. So I'm curious about those early ventures into, I'm going to go do this now. And I recognize fear bubbles up, and it bubbles up in different ways. Sometimes it bubbles up outside of us, but in front of like other people, and then they feed it back to us, right? So I'm curious about how you moved through that. What did you gravitate towards? Are there practices? Are there, it could be a mantra. Like, what is it that you did or that you chose to continue so that you can continue on your journey?
Yes, that's awesome. So like you said, fear bubbles up. It comes up. It's just natural. We're all human. It's just a state that we've all been in one time or another. But for me, I think just changing that mindset to, yes, I'm scared, but what am I going to lose if I don't do this? So am I going to look back on this and go, yeah, I was scared, so I didn't do it, but what did I lose? Right? What am I losing here? And what am I gaining? So what am I going to gain from this? Am I going to gain knowledge? And even if I fall, and I do, trust me, but I'm gaining a lesson. And I really try to always have my mindset to that. Okay, I might fall, but I might fly. And there's a really good chance I'm gonna fly. And if I fly and I kind of fall back down again, that's okay, because I did it anyway. I looked at fear and I saw I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because there's just too much for me to gain from doing it than not doing it. And I don't want to look back on my life and say, what if I should have? And we all have our little what ifs. It happens, but I want to be in a state where I can constantly be like, I did it. I failed. That was okay, but I did it. And I was scared, but I did it anyway. And again, my children are a huge inspiration for me, because I want them to look at life and say, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I want to be that model for them. And I just want to do it.
And we are all grateful for that, because through my feeling is we need to be the person we dream our children to be.
Yeah.
Because it's through modeling, because children are fantastic mimics. They're terrible interpreters, right?
Yeah.
Like it's that's
Especially when you have a house full of boys.
Yeah, a lot of doers, right? But I'm also interested in what specifically did you practice, right? So you know, there's a lot of grounding practices, and there's so much out there. And for people who are listening or who maybe are venturing into that space, I just want to say out loud, whatever you attempt, go ahead, attempt it. And like you said, Kristen, you may fall, you may fly. Chances are you are going to fall. Let's not kid ourselves. We can talk about that. You're going to fall. And then you will fly. But nothing will happen if you do nothing. So what is it that you continued to show up to? Was it journaling? Was it?
So I tend towards the spiritual aspect, obviously, from what I do and how I practice my life. I lean on a few different things. Meditation is huge for me because I'm in my head a lot, and I'm very much you're gonna like ego talking, and I'm like, shut up, I need to quiet my mind. So I practice kind of a combination of meditation, and since I'm Reiki trained, I also do a lot of self Reiki on myself. Journaling is freaking amazing and huge, and I always tell people that say, oh, I don't like to write, or I'm doing it wrong. I don't give a shit. Take a pen, take a paper. I don't care if you just draw a picture. Like it's brain dump, right? You just get it out. And I've even said to people, like, do you have a phone? Do you have a voice recorder? That's journaling. Do it. Mm-hmm. You can just kind of like, you need to be a soundboard and just kind of journal all over me. Sure, do it. But I really just think that there's a bunch of amazing outlets that you can use, such as meditation, journaling, energy work, walking in nature is a huge one. Just go out and be. Let go of that expectation. Something that really helps me is, and it's going to sound ridiculous, but is routine. And I mean that in a way that I need to schedule out my days and weeks in advance so that I can put things like that in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at 9:00 I'm meditating and it's in there. I'm not going to cancel that. If you act like it's a meeting, like, okay, I have a meeting with Dion today at 12. I'm going to be there because that's the expectation that I'm coming and I'm showing up for you. I'm showing up for me. I'm going to show up for myself by penciling this in and making it a priority for myself. Because if I don't, it goes on to the wayside, and then I don't take that time, and then I get out of control, and I'm not leaning on these tools that I have. Why wouldn't I use them if I, So
this is so, I mean, it's fantastic. And I'm a huge proponent of time blocking, and really it's not so much about being hard and like firm with like, I have to have this hardcore schedule. It's important that you recognize that you matter enough to be on the schedule, that it's not just a long list of to-dos that you try to ram into your day. And if it is, make sure that you're on the list and that you get included, right? What just came up for me as you were talking, because this is something that I think is so important and powerful, and I try to infuse it pretty much everywhere. One, because it's from Brene Brown and she's like my superhero.
Oh, love her.
But it's her anatomy of trust and her concept of braving, which is an acronym. And of course, she talks about braving in relation to building trusting relationships with others. Yeah. And naturally, it lends itself to building that trusting relationship within yourself. Yeah. I believe that is a crucial starting point, that you cannot, like, if you have a goal, if you have a desire, if you have a vision for yourself, you have to believe that you can get there. And that means that you have to trust yourself to do the work to get there. And so by scheduling yourself in and then doing the appointment, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Right? What you're ultimately doing is building a trusting relationship with you. So your higher self that knows this is the best thing goes, oh, look at you showing up and doing it. Huh. And
look at you. I always envision my spirit guides going,
Right? And the more that you continue to show
you go, girl.
You go, girl. the more that piece of you. So, call it whatever you want. It could be a spirit guide. It could be your higher self. I consider the big you, not just the universe, but your unconscious. Like anything you want to, I don't care what you call it. The other
the
part
big
of
you, I love it.
Yeah, that's been rooting for you this whole time, showing up. And when you give her space, and then she can rely on you to give her space, she'll continue to show up more fully. And I say she as if she's not a part of it. She's 100% you. But I just love that you included that, because of course it's so evident that you take yourself seriously and that you trust yourself implicitly. And that is unfortunately not a natural state for so many of us, because we are conditioned to only trust what's outside of us.
Yeah.
Like I lived most of my life up until my mid 30s, not knowing that I had a voice, or that I had feelings or thoughts or desires, if it didn't involve someone else being happy.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, right. Now again, it's not about blame. I lived in the same society as everybody else, and we were all doing the best we could with what we have. The key is now we have more, so we get to do better. Yeah. Yay.
I love that. I love that analogy. You're like singing my life song right there. I just love that. I'm woman, hear my voice.
Right. And to think about your journey and really how you showed up, and then you're like, fuck you, get out of my way if you're not part of this thing. That is ultimately, in my vision, the personification of braving, of really standing up for yourself and willing to be like, yes, it's a leap of faith, but it's more than that. It's trust. Yeah. It's not like, I hope it's going to happen. It's like, I know that I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that whatever I do is going to be awesome. I talk a lot about with my clients this idea of being stuck, and there's always this concern, well, if I don't do it right, or what if it doesn't work? And like, the opposite of stuck isn't success. It's just movement. I don't care what you're doing. If you're moving, you win. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
And moving could be falling on your face, inevitable, and you still win, because you moved out of the static freeze state of, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, all that shit. Yeah. Oh, Kristen, so good. So good. I love that Zoom allows some of us energy people to still transmit, and that you are close enough to me geographically that I could probably sense this, but I miss being in your presence. I miss that. And at the same time, take advantage of this as it happens. And I'm kind of excited for how you have been continuing to show up for your people, for your community, and for all of us on the other end who get to benefit from your brave life. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on, and then we're going to talk about how we got something going on. But so tell us what you got going on.
Something going on. So what do I got going on? So naturally, I am an in-person, love face-to-face contact. I'm the person that hugs you when you walk through the door. I'm that annoying person. So this has been super challenging for me, because I want people to know how authentic I am and how much I just truly am passionate about what I do. And I love doing that in person. So this is a huge challenge for me. But that being said, I'm really working on bringing that feeling of that in-person contact to the web, to the interweb, to my online presence. So it's been a challenge for me. I will admit. I'm, believe it or not, not somebody that's super comfortable on filming myself or on camera. I just feel more comfortable when I'm looking at you and I can look into your soul. So I'm really working on bringing a lot of my services online, mostly because I believe in them. I trust in them. I fully am passionate and in love with them, and I want people to still be able to access that. So I do a ton of distance Reiki with clients and and things like that. So I really want my clients to know that that's still available to you. This connection we have is still available. It's still here. So I'm in the works of a couple things to bring to the interwebs, to my Facebook group and things like that. So I just continuing to be authentic and showing up every single day, whether it's just to say, hey, how's it going, guys? Like, I'm here still. I'm holding that space, and holding space is like, it's my jam. I have to, like, for people to heal themselves, they need that space to do it. And I want to be that space for them. Whether that be online or in person. And I'm like, soon, guys, soon. I'm hoping.
Yes.
You know, I have very big dreams for my business and upcoming future stuff. So I'm looking to kind of do a mix of both.
Awesome.
So
I will absolutely share your links so that people can stay connected with you and can tap into your energy and what you're going to be sharing with the world. And I think, you know, a lot of us on the other side of the tech are in the same boat. Yes, I would prefer. Yes. And at the same time, I will take you any way I can get you.
Yes, I'm the same way. Like, I am like, that's one of my biggest challenges is the collective heaviness, for one, that we're all experiencing. We're all in this collective shitstorm. Let's just call it that, because that's basically what it is. Yeah. We're not all in the same boat, but we're kind of riding the waves. And I want my clientele, I call my soul family, to know that, you know, we've got this, we can support each other, we can uplift each other. And one of the big things that I really try to go for is, you know, there's enough hate, there's enough taking sides, there's enough fear, there's enough stress that doesn't happen on my page. Yes, we're real, we're human, but this is a place of more healing, more inspiration, more being authentic, and more love and light. Okay, maybe a little go fuck yourself sometimes, but like, we're here to uplift and inspire each other, and that's what my page is about. Knowing that regardless of where we are, time and space, that space can be held for you, and I am more than willing to step up and help you hold that space. So that is my goal. That is my desire as of right now, to get through all these challenging times. So
beautiful. And I know that there are a lot of people in this moment, especially strong, brilliant women who are just holding it together, who are craving a space to just be, and to know that they are still fantastic and awesome and have much of their shit together, even when they feel like they don't. And so thank you for being one of those beautiful beings that that holds that space for us. I'm going to include myself in there. And so the thing that I'm kind of like super giddy about right now, because so in the summer when I was putting together, I was shifting from face-to-face to online, taking my event and flipping that and doing all the things. I also designed a online community for my peeps, and so the Awesomeness Academy came to light. And one of the first things that I did, which I thought about it, I'm like, that's kind of crazy, and I never doubted that it was going to be fantastic, was I reached out to a whole bunch of my fantastic community, you included, energy workers and brilliant minds and people who were doing cool shit and like people who were leading beautiful circles and all of that. And I created this space inside my Awesomeness Academy where we could learn and do cool shit together. So so on the 27th of January, now if you're listening to this afterwards, don't worry, there's still opportunity there, but on the 27th of January, you are going to be joining me inside the Awesomeness Academy to talk about hypnosis, which I am so excited. So I did neurolinguistic programming training. I did some hypnosis training, and I recognize how powerful it is. I am like I'm like the hypno guinea pig. It takes me like this long, right? And I'm like, I'm in it and it's great.
I know.
And it's not that it has a bad rap. It just, many people don't recognize the power and the importance of it as a tool for transformation. So
yes.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with all my Awesomeness Academy peeps?
I am so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited. So, like you said, I love how you said sometimes it gets a bit of a bad rep, and that's something we're gonna dive into, and we're gonna bust some myths. We're gonna talk about a couple of things like getting ready for this. I know what hypnosis is. I mean, I studied it. I do it for a living. But actually Googling what hypnosis was, I was tears rolling down my cheeks laughing, like ridiculous. I'm like, this is not what this is. Like, who wrote this? Wikipedia, you idiot. Like, no. So I'm like, okay, this is what it says. This is what it actually is. So we're going to totally dive into an actual definition of what hypnosis is, in my humble opinion. A lot of the benefits, how it works. We're going to how it doesn't work. Is it the same as meditation? And we may even dive into a little hypnosis that day, a live one. I don't know. Crazy things could happen.
So if you are going to be there, no, you're not going to leave clucking like a chicken. So it's
no,
not
and we're going to dive in. We're going to talk all about it before anything crazy happens. And talk about what the difference between stage hypnosis and actual hypnosis. I think a lot of the bad rap comes from, like, the police used to use, and maybe still do, I don't really think so anymore, used to use hypnosis to try to get people to talk about, like, did you commit the crime and things. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. So they're like, oh, it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. You can't just give somebody mind control. So we're gonna dive deep into that, bust up all those myths, and just honestly have a really good time.
Brilliant. That's how
I'm so excited.
I love to learn and laugh and have a good time. So that, in essence, is 100% why you were one of the first people that I called and were like, hey, want to do this thing in 2021? It was like, we're all sitting outside going, what? Next year? What? Who? And I'm super excited about this. So if you are an Awesomeness Academy member, all you have to do is click over onto the Cool Shit Masterclasses and sign up. If you would like to check this out, then message me either on Facebook or Dion@DionThompson.com, and we can talk about how to get you inside the Awesomeness Academy to check this out. If you're listening to this after January 27th, no worries. It is a recorded session, and it is there for all of the members until the end, which I don't foresee. So super excited. So the Awesomeness Academy, awesomenessacademy.com, and it is a place of community, connection, kick-ass content, and your life coach. So super pumped. This is going to be awesome. I'm so excited. Now, Kristen, so excited. I know, yes. Right? Last but not least, you are a brilliant being, and like I said at the beginning, love everything about what you bring to the world, and that, again, that you're close enough to me that I get to hang out with you. What is
feelings mutual?
Thank you. What is one piece, wisdom, nugget of gold, whatever, what is one thing that you want someone who's listening today to walk away with?
Oh, that's a good one. I think when I just kind of look into my heart and think, what do I want people to walk away with? And it's to see the things that scare you, to see the things that make you take a step back and go, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I want you to look at them in the eye, and I want you to do them anyway. They don't control you. You have the power to create the life you desire. And it's just the matter of believing in yourself, trusting in yourself, trust in your intuition. It's there for a reason. It's there to guide you. And I just want you to look for opportunities. Take these leaps of faith. Take these roads less traveled and just take them anyway. Do what makes you happy and look for the joy in your life. So I think that's my heartfelt piece of advice or leaving tips.
And that is absolutely brilliant. And for those of you that are listening, that maybe you see it, you see its potential, and you're just not sure of the how, reach out to Kristen, to me, to the beings in your world who you feel have, number one, the capacity to see your greatness, because that's crucial. That's number one. And you know that they are living their best life as best they can, and make friends with them and learn from them. And we are in this together. This is not a solo run, right? So thank you.
My big motto is so when everybody comes to me, I always just say, take what you need and leave the rest. I'm not gospel. I'm not the guru. I'm just speaking my truth. And if it resonates with you, amazing. And if it doesn't, I'm cool with it too. Like, just take what you need, leave that rest.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you, Kristen, for joining me today. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And I will talk to you very soon.
Thank you so much. So much gratitude.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join Dion again next week to learn more about what you can do to go from hot mess to awesomeness.